Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Arrief Ayshraff Rosli. My student ID is 2019875522. I'm from FF234 Theatre Production and my group is FTA4222I. Today I'm going to present about romanticism. Hand fan is an art. Usually, people will say that hand fan is from China, but the birthplace of hand fans are back as 4,000 years prior in Egypt. The hand fan was viewed as a consecrated instrument and utilized in the street service and was additionally observed as symbol of intensity, sovereignty, even immediately, as confirmed by the two hand fans found in King Tut's. One among the fan had an excellent handle and it was shrouded in ostrich plum, while the opposite was dark overlaid with gold and valuable stones. Then, the full hand fan is perceived as being developed in Japan or China, with the two nations holding legends of its creation. In Japan, the fan is believed to be designed consistent with the collapsing wing of a bat, while the Chinese accept seeing a woman fanning her face cover at a celebration prompted the creation. Despite how the hand fan started, the item was taken to Europe during the 50,000s by method for exchange courses and became unprecedented in jazzy image of riches and sophistication. As you can see, this is the first fan that King Tut found. The fan had an excellent handle and was shrouded in ostrich plum. And then now you can see this is the fan that was dark overlaid with gold and valuable stone. Why hand fan is my favorite art? Hand fan also can relate with romanticism and symbolism. Why I say like that? It is because hand fan can bring variety of connotation. Since from back then, the hand fan has been a significant common sense method for chilling person off. In Asia, it expected a significant formal job, and in Europe, it turned into signifier of status, expound plan, and costly materials, demonstrating both taste and riches. There's also additionally a broadly held conviction that hand fan had another use, that of passing on mystery messages. During a time when women needed to advance to exacting guidance of manners, it accepted that the mystery language turned into an ideal route for a woman to discreetly speak with and engage her admirers. Other than the meaning of its drawing and design on the hand fans, I thought that hand fans also bring the romantic and elegant vibe. That's why hand fan is my favorite art. According to Spectre 2008, said romanticism has basically no to do with things broadly thought as romantic. Symbolism and myth were given extraordinary noticeable quality in the romantic origination of craftsmanship. In the romantic view, symbol were the human stylish correlative of nature, significant language. They were esteemed to in light of the fact that they could all the while recommend many things and were along this line thought better than the one-to-one interchange of the moral story. Both romanticism and symbolism have thoughtful and passionate characteristic of inner reflection. Be that as it may, the creation of symbolism are purposely quite often static to pass on the mindset, while those of romanticism are commonly unique regardless of whether discreetly along these lines. An obtrusive brushwork and shading connection enact the artwork. Both romanticism and symbolism can both be depicted often as despairing, isolation, or yearning. Be that as it may, a key de manoir moved from dynamic to increasingly lawton disposition toward the relationship of being on the planet, a consequence of setting and understanding nuance uncover itself. Romanticism and symbolism technically were related with hand fan because there is a message hidden from hand fans. During the 19th century, the fan was utilized as a specialized device to convey mystery messages, during when true and true verbal correspondence among people were controlled. Women at that point for the most part have chaperons to screen everything they might do. In Japan, it may be used in fighting by the samurai. As it moved in Korea, folding hand fan were used as a battling device and it like manner in one of their wonderful moves. While there are more current approaches to keep cool, a folding hand fan is particularly being used today as an antique occasion. Also, there remains the old language of the folding fans that is yet perceived in the present day. The folding hand fan presumably won't be exorbitantly typical in the US. Anyway, there's little at accommodating fan which give cooling air. During summer is used by people in the East, particularly those living in Japan, China, South Korea, the Philippines, and other Asian countries. From back then, the hand fan has such a rich history. Furthermore, to top everything, it was once used as a particular gadget with a puzzle language. Only customers of the hand fans complete it. There is a different symbolism in Japan related with fans. The fan itself is a symbol of thriving as it spread out when we open it, like that of a sprouting blossom or the extending of riches. As the fan begin from a solitary point and the wooden strip go out to different headings, they are considered to look like the different ways driving us through life after the single purpose of birth. Typically, the fans with design have an odd number of picture imprinted on it, as odd number are viewed as fortunate. The shading and the photo on a fan have specific implication. Gold shaded fans are accepted to pull in riches, while red and white ones are viewed as fortunate hues. This is like the shading imagery of different things in Japan, such as maneki neko, felines, and daruma dolls. The Japanese additionally used to give fans as endowment and keepsakes. During the 19th century, Europe society was extremely exacting and guys and women were never permitted to associate without chevrons. The fan turned into their practical apparatus for quiet correspondence. This is captivating look behind the mystery language. The folding hand fan devotes of all employed, giving them an extraordinary method to convey and oppose limitation. In the event that despite everything single, a woman held an open fan to cover her mouth and held it with her correct turn before her face to recommend a man to follow her. In the event that she opened and shut her fan to point toward the nursery, that is the place they would meet. A woman advised a man to disregard her by holding the fan close to one side ear or slide the fan held in her left hand over her eye to flag her sweetheart or sweeter that they were being firmly viewed, moving the fan with her correct hand, and despite being infatuated with another man, thought she demonstrated she needed a specific man and that her answer was yes. When she slid the fan on her correct cheek in the event that the fan was slid over her left cheek, the right response was no. Posing the inquiry of whether he adored her was the translating of a woman holding a fan shut while taking a gander at the man while she needed to converse with the man when she contact the edge of the fan with her finger. That's all from me. Thank you.